I've never been the kind of man who goes looking for trouble. I live quietly. I stay loyal, I mind my limits, and I don't cross lines that shouldn't be crossed. But that night, sitting at a bar after a long day at work, trouble came looking for me, wearing red lipstick and the kind of confidence that could brighten even the darkest room. Her name was Clara. She wasn't the type who begged for attention. She naturally drew it in. The sound of her laugh, the tilt of her head when she spoke, it was captivating. I remember glancing at my phone, a silent reminder that I should have been home by now. My wife, Megan, had texted earlier. "Dinner's ready. Don't be late again." But I was already late. Clara sat 2 stools away, sipping her drink like time was her own. Our eyes met once. Just once. And something inside me shifted. It wasn't desire, not at first. It was curiosity. The kind that makes you forget the walls you've built for a moment too long. "You look like a man carrying too much," she said. Her voice had a soft teasing edge, almost like a dare. I gave a polite smile, turning my glass in my hands. "You could say that." She nodded toward my left hand. "Married men usually do." The words landed harder than I expected. My eyes dropped to the ring, plain silver, worn smooth from the years. I'd once put it on with pride. Now it felt heavy. Not because I didn't love my wife, but because that love had gone quiet, still there but faint. "You're observant," I said. "I'm curious," she replied, her gaze steady on mine. "But not looking for trouble." Her tone suggested otherwise. We talked for a while, nothing deep at first. Work, the weather, the usual small talk between 2 strangers needing a distraction. The more she laughed, the more I realized how long it had been since someone looked at me that way, as if I mattered, as if I was seen. When she leaned closer, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, I caught a hint of her perfume, something warm, maybe vanilla or amber. My heartbeat quickened. "You don't have to tell me," she murmured. "But I get the feeling you haven't smiled like that in a long time." She wasn't wrong. Megan and I had been married 9 years. In the beginning, she was everything, supportive, gentle, grounding. But lately, it felt like we were 2 people sharing a space, not a life. Every talk became about chores or schedules. Every silence stretched too far. We still had a home, but not a heartbeat. "I'm just tired," I said. "Aren't we all?" Clara smiled, swirling the ice in her glass. Then slowly, she reached out and tapped my wedding ring. "You wear it like a burden." Something inside me cracked, not from anger, but understanding. She was right. Without thinking too much, I slid the ring off and placed it beside my drink. The soft clink of metal on glass cut through the noise. Clara's playful expression vanished, replaced by something I couldn't name. Surprise, maybe. Or recognition. "What are you doing?" she whispered. Reminding myself what it feels like not to be invisible, I said. The air between us tightened. Her lips parted, but she didn't speak. For the first time, she looked unsure. And that's when it hit me. Sometimes it's not the betrayal that changes you, but the realization of how easily it could happen. She reached for her drink, then stopped halfway. "You shouldn't do that," she said softly. "You don't seem like the kind of man who cheats." "I'm not," I said quietly. "But I'm starting to wonder if I'm still the kind of man who's loved." Her gaze softened. "Maybe you just need someone to remind you that you still matter." Her words hit deeper than they should have. And in that dimly lit bar, something inside me quietly shifted. Clara didn't touch me. She didn't lean in or whisper something reckless. She just looked at me, really looked, her eyes steady and sincere. The music blurred into background hum, like the world had faded to silence around us. "You know," she finally said, "most men who take off their rings have already decided what comes next." I looked down at the ring beside my glass, catching the dull glimmer of the bar lights. "Maybe," I whispered. "I just wanted to know what it feels like not to be an afterthought." Clara's face softened. "Then maybe you should tell her that." "Not me." There was no flirtation in her voice. Only truth. It caught me off guard. I'd expected temptation, not honesty. "Why does it feel easier talking to you than to my own wife?" I asked. "Because I'm a stranger," she said, sipping the last of her drink. Strangers don't expect anything. You can tell me what you can't say at home. She was right, and I hated that she was. We sat in silence. The bartender wiped the counter. Life moved on, and I stared at a small silver band that suddenly felt like a question I hadn't answered. Finally, I picked it up, turning it in my fingers. Do you think people stay married because it's easier than admitting they're lonely together? All the time, she said softly. The answer shouldn't have comforted me, but it did. When she stood to leave, she smiled. Not the kind that invited me along, but the kind that wished me peace. Go home, she said. Don't let good things die just because they've gone quiet. And just like that, she was gone. No number. No promise. Just a stranger who'd held up a mirror. I sat there long after she left, her words echoing in my mind. When the bartender asked if I wanted another drink, I shook my head, slid the ring back onto my finger, and walked into the night. The air was cool, smelling faintly of rain and new beginnings. When I got home, the house was dark except for the soft light spilling from the kitchen. Megan sat at the table, scrolling through her phone, a plate of untouched food in front of her. You're late, she said, eyes still on her screen. I know. She finally looked up, tired, guarded. You've been doing that a lot lately. I took a slow breath. And you've been distant a lot lately. Her phone stilled. Silence hung between us. What are you trying to say, Alex? She asked quietly. I'm saying I miss you, I told her. I miss how we used to talk. How we used to see each other. I went to a bar tonight and realized a stranger knows more about how I feel than my own wife. Her expression softened, a flicker of pain or guilt. You met someone? Someone who reminded me that I still matter, I said. But that's not what I want. I want us to matter again. She studied me for a long moment, then set her phone aside. You took off your ring, didn't you? I hesitated. Yeah. Did she notice? She did, and she told me to come home. That broke something open. The silence that followed wasn't cold. It was raw and real. Megan's eyes shimmered. I don't know when we stopped trying, she whispered. Neither do I said. But it's not too late, unless we decide it is. She nodded, tears catching the light. I don't want to lose you, Alex. Then don't. For the first time in years, she reached for my hand. Her fingers brushed the ring, still warm from being held. We sat there, two people who had drifted apart, finally choosing to reach back. Later that night, lying beside her in the dark, I thought of Clara, the woman who flirted fearlessly but spoke truth even braver. Sometimes, the universe doesn't send temptation to break you. It sends strangers to wake you up.